Hey everyone, Ion is here. Path of Exile 2 can be overwhelming, especially if you're new to the game or the franchise. There are so many mechanics that the game doesn't fully explain, and making a few mistakes early on as a new player can slow your progression by a lot. So in this video, I'm going to share 10 tips and tricks that will help you progress faster, become stronger, and avoid some of the common beginner mistakes, and also maybe some existing players might not know some of these infos. So to me, the most important and the most common mistake that new players make, especially when they hit the end game and they finish the campaign, is capping your resistance. As you can see, capping your resistance at 75 is very important because after finishing the campaigns, monsters start hitting much harder. And if your res isn't capped at 75, you're going to feel it immediately. Many players focus entirely on damage upgrades and then wonder why they're constantly dying. So before squeezing out more DPS, make sure your resistance is capped. It will make mapping way more smoother and prevent countless deaths. And it's very easy to, even like with very minimal cheap gear in League Start, you can cap your resistances. Main way is your jewelry. You can get a lot of resistance for jewelry. And for number two, which is also kind of related to number one, is another mistake, prioritizing damage of every piece of gear. Sure, having more DPS feels great, but a dead character it deals zero damage. Try to find a balance between offensive and defensive stat, like life energy shields, evasion, armor, resistance, and other defensive layer which are just as important as raw damage. So if you're dying repeatedly, upgrading your defenses is often a much bigger increase in power than upgrading your damage. For example, if you can see my ring, I have my ring here to damage mode, but I also got LE res, fire res, uh, maximum life. See here 3 damage mode, but I also have elemental resistance, lightning resistance. The other gear, try to cap your resistance, try to get the, like, for example, I'm using evasion, get deflection, get energy shield, increase your life. So all these defensive stats that work with your build can be very useful. So for number three is corrupting your gems. This is a mechanic that many new players don't know about, which is just because a skill gem becomes corrupted doesn't mean you can't level it up. So a corrupted gem can still level up. So you can corrupt a gem and a low level gem and hoping you get a positive outcome. For example, here we bring a level 14 uncut skill gem, so you don't have to buy the level 20, which is very expensive. So we don't forget to quality it, and bring the Valor. For early league, some people can just use greater if perfect jewelers are too expensive. You get a 6 link, but for those who wants to get like a plus level and get a huge power up, you can just, like I said, don't forget to quality, and you do the sockets because you can't add sockets after you corrupt it. Yes, it's 5 link with 4 socket, and get that extra socket in, and you corrupt it, and you hope to get a good outcome. Like for this, for example, we got +1 level. We got lucky. I don't know if it's 1 in 4, 1 in 6, something like that. Get the level from corruption. You can get minus, which can break you the skill gem, and you can get extra quality, 23 quality, or you lose quality. So there are many outcomes. So yeah, this can give you a good power up. So for number 4, we have a very small but very useful quality of life feature, which is turning off gem cutting restrictions and equipment restrictions. What I mean by that is when you're trying to go and, for example, I already have eye shot equipped. So when I go to get another eye shot, it will prevent me. It says you already have a targeted skill gem of the same type. Or for example, I have like bow skills equipped. I'm trying to equip a staff. It doesn't let me because it says you have to remove those skills. So how we fix it? We come to options, game, and we turn off these two options, gem cutting restrictions and equipment restrictions. Hit save, and now you can go and get another one of the ice shot or any skill you already have it equipped. And you can equip the staff and you won't have any problem. So it's something not many people know, and to be honest is a very annoying feature. I don't know why it's automatically turned on by itself. And for number 5, this might look obvious, but I see this all the time. New players treat every currency like it's made of gold and never use anything. The reality is that currency exists for you to use it and make your character stronger. So if you're struggling during campaign or early maps, just use your currency, upgrade your gear, cap your resistance, a character that clear faster and dies less, ultimately more earn more currency back. So like exalt or regal your items in the campaign, or if you have a good weapon you took from the campaign and you just enter the maps, you can exalt it. So basically use your currency. And talking about using currency, a big honorable mention that we can have a good example of is the staff that many people don't know. Like when they apply quality to the staff, nothing happens. That's what they think, but something important happens. You see how big your sigil of power is. You quality it, you don't see any number change, but look at quality 20 and you cast it again, it's the radius is much bigger. So yeah, use your currency. It's always useful. And for number 6 is using useful websites and useful PoE tools. I'm gonna put them in the description, but in my opinion, these fours are essentials for anyone who is new or anyone who is already playing. First of all, we have PoEDB or PoE database, where you can get all the mod calculations, their weights, you can get the base, basically any information or data about PoE. And second, which is Craft of Exile. This website is a lifesaver because I remember I was alteration crafting in PoE 1 on a item hoping to get like tier 1 attributes. I'm like rolling it for 1 hour, wondering why I can't get it, and then I realized the item level is too low. So for stuff like this, it's very useful, and you can emulate or stimulate your craft and see how much it will cost on average. And third, PoE Ninja. This website is amazing. You can see builds, you can see what people who are playing your exact build doing, and have a feature that newly added. You can just trade for the item or see where those stats are coming from. So it's a must know and must use website. And lastly, Path of Building. It's a app that or a software that looks complicated at the beginning, but it's an essential if you're following a build guide. I will put the link in the description for all of those. And for number 7, this tool is especially useful for players who are into advanced crafting. If you're trying to fracture a certain modifier, using Desecrate strategically can improve your chances by influencing the available course pool. For example, you can only fracture a 4 mod item, but this will be like 1 in 4. But if you desecrate the item, now the fracture is gonna be 1 in 3. So you will have a higher chance of hitting. For example, we want to hit Spirit. Instead of 1 in 4, 1 in 4 is gonna be 1 in 3 now. And we missed again because I'm never lucky, but the point is you're gonna have a higher odds or higher chances of fracturing your item. Obviously, this is not a good item. I just bought it from the gamble and use it as an example. But the example was if you wanted to hit your desired mod, you can desecrate and fracture for a higher odds. And for number 8, if you're struggling to sustain maps in the early end game, don't forget about vendors. Many people or many new players forget about them, especially the reforging bench, which you get from Act 3 Molten Vault. There's a quest there. You get it, and you get the reforging bench, which you can, for example, get 3 maps of life. For example, tier 6. Combine them, and you can get a higher tier map. So this can be very useful for early on. And you can, what you do is you buy the maps with gold from Doriani. I know gold can be very hard to get in early, but it's even harder if you want to buy the high tier maps. So what you can do is just buy 3 maps from Doriani, use the vendor, and you will get a higher tier waystone. So gold can be very useful in this case. And talking about the reforging bench, there's a cool trick. Get the new diamond base, which is get a base of each type of jewel, and you reforge, and you get this new base, which is diamond, that can roll modifiers from any of the bases. So it can get ruby, sapphire, or emerald base on it, which is very cool. And talking about more honorable mentions is another trick that not many people might know, which is if you're like in the Well of Souls, or if you're in someone's hideout just buying an item, you don't have to go back to the waystone. You can quickly just type slash hideout and go instantly to your hideout. And for number 9, which is very important in my opinions, are weapon set. Weapon sets are one of the strongest and most underused mechanics in the game. Instead of using only one setup, you can create a second weapon setup, especially for utility skills like curses, marks, or buffs. For example, in my build, you can see I have a weapon set 2 that I'm using to buff my freezing mark. You can see you can get 24 points for each set, which is very useful, and you can automate them as well. Like you can see when I'm using my mark, it goes to the weapon set 2. When I'm using my ash shot, this automatically goes back to weapon set 1, and you can easily do that by choosing which sets the weapon is used with. So if I click both of these, it will work with the both sets. If I click only one, it will automatically put it back to 1. And for this one, it will only work with weapon set 2, which is a very, very useful mechanic. And for number 10, finally, if you're brand new to Path of Exile 2, don't be afraid to follow a build guide. PoE 2 has an enormous amount of depth, and trying to learn every system at once can be overwhelming. Following a proven build allow you to focus on learning mechanics, crafting, mapping, bosses, and the economy without worrying about your passive tree being broken. So once you understand the game better, you'll have much easier time creating your own builds. And those are the 10 Path of Exile 2 tips that I wish I knew sooner. If you found this video helpful, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more PoE 1 and 2 content. Also, let me know in the comments which tip was your favorite, or if you have any tip you can share with us that could help other players. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.